Hello, everyone, and welcome to Three Dads and a Console. Not every parent can stay up to date on the latest video game news you need to know about, so we try to do that for you weekly. This show is kid-friendly, so no earmuffs needed. Now, if you could also, just before we get started, rate us on Apple iTunes, subscribe to our podcast of choice, and check us out on our YouTube channel. We'd appreciate it. Now, on with the show. I am Wabba Plays, as always, and I'm also joined by Court Lalonde. Court, hello.
That was fantastic.
I know. I practiced.
Oh, good. Short and sweet.
I did in my Twitch voice.
I actually really like the you and pointing at the screen.
You gotta engage the boys on our YouTube channel, which you can also subscribe to for free.
God, he's in full cell mode, and I'm into it. Let's go.
Anymore, guys. I've been sick for like 40 days and 40 nights. This is probably the first episode since I've been feeling 100%, and I'm on. So get ready for some takes. But Court, good to see you as well. Perfect hair as always.
Actually, it just I'm not even gonna lie. It's this is just took a hat off and put
fresh
this
cut?
on. But
is that a fresh cut?
I get a cut every 2 weeks.
Man, man, styling, profiling. He is the podcast version of Ric Flair. Rolex wheeling, dealing, son of a gun. Woo!
Well, I appreciate the comments.
You're welcome.
And speaking of not visible hair under a hat, Pez is also here. Pez, hello.
What's up, gentlemen? How's it going? I figured I would go with my signature bandana today because it was hot in my house and I was sweating, and the air conditioners really aren't doing anything. So there we go.
That's why you need yourself a USB fan that I'm not going to show you because they don't sponsor us yet.
No, not yet.
It's 21 degrees in my house. It's beautiful.
Celsius!
In American, that's cold. I mean, that's really cold. In Canadian, my friends, C to F. Let's do this quick conversion here. We are looking at 69 nice degrees.
Nice, dude! What's that in Kelvin, though?
I don't know. Let's go see.
For the nerds.
No one cares.
What do you mean? There's one scientist out there like, oh, give it to me in Kelvin.
We're looking at 294.15 Kelvin.
That's a lot of Kelvin.
Take that, science.
We all learned something today because I know everybody is about 69 degrees. So now you know how to report it in two different. But let's get to the news now. Actually, that was the news. Let's get to the other stuff.
Yeah.
So we have a few big topics. The first is there is a special game that came out on not PC. It is what else was it on before?
Switch.
So it was on Switch and it was on PC.
It came out on Switch before it came to a console that people play?
It launched on Switch. Thank you very much.
Christ. All right, well, anyway, one of my favorite developers, Supergiantgames, they came out with Hades on PS4 and Xbox, and, you know, the consoles that matter. And we've all finally had a chance to play it. What are all of your thoughts? Pez, you've had some experience with it first, so you're our expert.
Sure.
So what do you think of Hades?
I have played it on Switch and on PC, where it was originally launched, because I guess if it was to be launched on good consoles, that's where it would have originally launched, but it didn't. It launched on PC and on Switch. So, let's see, real quick. On PC, I have about 40 hours into it. In Switch, I would say about the same. And I don't know if this is true. My guess is it's probably true for PlayStation and Xbox, but it is cloud save between Switch and PC. So you were able to just pick up your save and keep going, and amazing. It got my runner-up for Game of the Year in 2020 behind Animal Crossing, but that's only because I put 500 hours into Animal Crossing, right? Animal Crossing was one of those games that you could just dump hours into and nothing happened. But I think, as I has said on this podcast, Hades is easily my favorite roguelike game I've ever played. Better than Dead Cells, better than Risk of Rain, better than Salt and Sanctuary, better than Rogue Legacy and Rogue Legacy 2. Like, it is the best. Those that have never played it, I'll give you a quick backstory without any spoilers. You are Zagreus, the son of Hades, and you are trying to escape hell. and you are assisted by the gods. Your Zeus, everyone's favorite himbo, Poseidon. He's a dude. He's a hey little Hades. He's such a himbo. And what they do is they give you various boons based on whatever they represent as in the pantheon. Like Zeus gives you lightning, Poseidon gives you water. Dionysus gives you a thing it's called hangover. So what it does, it's kind of like a tick damage AoE type effect based on whatever you get. And you have to escape the 4 stages: Tartarus, Asphodel, Elysium, and then Hades himself. And after you do that, again, I'm not going to spoil it, but something happens and you do it again. It's a roguelike. So when you die, the only thing that progresses is your knowledge of the stage and what is considered the collectible, which is darkness. Darkness is used in Nyx's mirror, the mother of the night or whatever she is. Nyx's mirror to upgrade your stuff. Like you can get more boons, you can get more dashes, all that stuff. So that's the game in a nutshell. It is incredible. I played it on Twitch. I played it a lot on Twitch. Probably 38 of those 40 hours on PC I've been on Twitch. I love it. It's a great game. The music slaps. Like I listen to the soundtrack on Spotify daily. The music slaps. The artwork is impeccable. It is just an incredible game. Plays incredibly. I play it with a mouse and keyboard because if you play a game like Hades I play with a controller. If you play a game like Hades with a mouse and keyboard, you're probably a psychopath, and you should be, put in an asylum somewhere because that is not a mouse and keyboard game.
No.
No what?
So Pez,
No, you.
Hades will not have cross save for PlayStation and Xbox like it does for PC.
I don't want cross save. All right, I don't need it.
I do.
Casual.
You should want it though.
I play on PC consoles, both PlayStation and Xbox. I would love cross save. I wish all games were on everything. I understand the whole, exclusive machines that exist, but I like cross save now.
That is a shame, because honestly, if I was tied to one console, I would never have played it on PC because it is a perfect Nintendo Switch game. Pick it up for a half hour in bed, put it down, pause it like whenever you want, and that's it. Like, good night. The fact that it had cross save made it so you felt, so you weren't backtracking. I wasn't playing for 5 hours on PC and then I pick up my Switch and it's like, oh, I got to do this again. Like, I feel like I've already been doing this. And it's not that loss of progress that someone feels and can get very frustrated by. So as Wabba said, it did come out on the correct consoles. It came out on the Switch and the PC, and then the others were ports later, a year or a year and a half later, and that's okay.
So I'll have to concur and say, yeah, the game is beautiful. It looks. I've been playing it on the Xbox Series X on Gamepass. It's the perfect game for Gamepass. Not just because it's a very good game, but it's one of those bite-sized games where I can go in, I can go play, and then I can go back to the other games that I'm currently playing. Like any roguelike, I'm not good at them. So take my opinion with a grain of salt. I enjoy playing it. It's not a game that I keep going back to. I probably played it for 4 or 5 days straight. I played it for maybe over 2 hours now. I've played this game. I haven't got very far. I think the farthest I got, Pez, was like 14 rooms. I get killed a lot. I don't have the reflexes to play these types of games. I don't know what it is. I'm just never good at them. I've enjoyed Death's Door. I've enjoyed Hades. I doubt I'll finish them, but I haven't taken either off my Xbox dashboard, and both of them I've gone back to play. But my review shouldn't really matter on this game because I'm usually the guy that likes the big AAA experience, not the multiplayer and not the roguelikes.
Well, the cool thing about it being on Game Pass is you can try it, right, without buying it. So if you have that inkling where like maybe you think you like roguelike games, because not all roguelikes are the same, right? It's just like saying not all fighters are the same and not all first-person shooters are the same. So if you didn't like Dead Cells or you didn't like Rogue Legacy, or maybe you loved Rogue Legacy and you hated Dead Cells, like give Hades a shot. You might like it, you might not. If you're a PlayStation person, I don't know, because you're going to have to buy it. It was what, Wabba? $40 maybe?
So it's 40. GameStop had it this weekend for, I think it was 30.
Perfect.
And I got on PS5, which I don't think that matters, but I haven't bought a PS5 game in months, so figured why not? It was the same price.
Is that your first PS5 box?
It's
Game
not. I
box?
have Watch Dogs Legion. But
That's right.
I got that around the holidays, and it's August 18th.
Is that
So-
unwrapped yet or no? Is it still wrapped? Okay.
It is. But can I get on my soapbox before I talk about the game?
Sure.
As one does. So you talked about Court like not liking roguelikes, and I know you compared it to Rogue Legacy. I do not like roguelikes. I don't enjoy them. I played Rogue Legacy because it was free on PS Plus. I had enough fun to beat the game. It was challenging. It wasn't my type of game. However, I feel very strongly about supporting the studios that I enjoy. Supergiantgames, and I talked about this before, they are very special to me. I played Transistor and it blew my mind away. I played Pyre and I loved it. It's like Wizard basketball. And then I went back and played Bastion. These things spoke to me. And then at PAX, I saw them live. Darren Korb and Jamie Landrum just like singing on stage. And it was amazing and super special. And I got to meet them. They signed something. Like, this is a studio that deserves your support. And if you like them, even if their games aren't for you, and I'm not saying this to either of you, I'm talking to the people, buy it new when it's like full price. And I know it's, sometimes things are tough, but like that, you want to support them to make, like, again, I'm not talking about profits or cuts, but like you want them to get sales. So do it. Even if it's not 100%, your thing, support the games that you like. I know I'm going to enjoy it, even though it's not my type of game, because I do enjoy that studio. But that's just my little soapbox thing. Because I'm practicing what I preach.
One thing I'd like to add, I thoroughly enjoyed the conversations in Hades. I think they're hilarious. They're off the cuff, and the fact that petting the dog was an achievement. You have to do it 10 times. Now, to the people doing this, you can't just do it 10 times in a row. That doesn't pop the achievement. You have to die 10 times and come in every single time and pet the dog. So for someone like yourself, Wabba, it is not going to give you trophies, and it's just not going to hand them to you. I've looked them up. It is a tough list, but the art style in this game is beautiful. Like, the game just looks great, and I'll be honest with you. Even if it wasn't on Game Pass, I probably would have bought it based on what Pez was saying about the game, and I've watched him play on Twitch, and the fact that I actually did like Death's Door. I suck at Death's Door, but I still want to finish that game.
And like that's how you know it's a good game. If it's not the style of game you enjoy, but you can still find something in it to enjoy, something that'll keep you, coming back, even if it's not a lot. And I think that's very special. And I think that this studio does that, because the games that they make are not the typical game I'd like, but they're so charming and well done that I'm gushing about them. I always do when we bring it up. So
yeah. And I will give Supergiantgames this. They have not made a bad game.
No.
Here's the thing. Transistor, I played it on Vita, I think. I can't remember. It wasn't like a game I'm like, oh my God, I love it. Because I played Bastion at first. And I was, what is this game? Who is this developer? This is amazing. You have the narrator's voice. I was like, oh my God, is this like Sam Elliott? This sounds just like Sam Elliott. And it's not. It's, I think
Logan
it might be
Cunningham.
Darren Korb. Oh, it's Logan Cunningham. Okay.
Yep.
And, they always have great music. They always have great story. They always have great art style. And if I can throw something at you, my worry is that Supergiantgames is going to make a Hades 2. And I don't want them to. And I'm going to tell you why I don't want them to. Because Supergiantgames is always good at, here is the thing. The thing is good. We're going to move on to something else. Right? Like Bastion was good. They could have made a Bastion 2 and I bet it would have cleaned up, right? They could have made a Transistor 2 and I bet it would have done well. Pyre, I don't know. People have to be into that. They could make a Hades 2 and it'll kill, right? I don't want them to be a sequel type of, I don't want them to be a sequel maker. Go bring me a new experience, because that is what you are amazing at.
Now,
That's what I want to see.
Everybody keeps talking and saying this is game of the year, which is fine. I think this will be the first year for me, the game of the year. I don't really have a vote because every time Death's Door, Hades, everybody's like, these are really good games. Like they've done a very good job, but I'm not good at them. And it's like it's very hard for me to play. And I'm like, it's tough for me to. So my ask question to you guys: we're in August. What is your game of the year so far?
Been played. Oh, did Persona come out this year? I feel like I still talk about it. I don't
Persona
even know.
Strikers.
No, Royal.
No.
I don't think it.
Bro.
No, that's been out for a while. Because I bought it.
Okay.
I bought it on Black Friday.
For me, Mass Effect Legendary. Yeah, it was on 2019. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I haven't played a lot this year. Again, my main focus is NHL and
So
all that. But Mass Effect is mine, and I know it's a remake. I don't care.
Are we talking games like released in 2021?
Mm-hmm. Hades still counts, by the way.
I would say it is probably. Man, I'm looking at the games that have like come out. I've played. It's probably Monster Hunter Rise for me.
Of course it is. I'm not shocked.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, you want to go based on hours? It's probably Monster Hunter Rise. You want to go based on even on like content? Like I loved Monster Hunter Rise. It was great. It's probably one of the best, if not the best, Monster Hunter game that has been made so far. Death's Door is up there. Hades obviously is going to be up there. I don't count it as a 2021 release because I played it last year. But
yeah, but it's the calendar year, right? So like for me, Miles Morales is up there because it's the calendar year, right? That didn't fall into last year's, so that would be this year. And this sounds stupid, but Astrobot, I think the game is just so much fun.
That was really good.
It's so good.
You can make a case that Astro's Playroom is the best PS5 game out there.
I don't even think you could. I think it is.
Between
like,
that or Bugsnax, basically.
So Pepez, I don't think you're saying this lightly. Every single person that has a PS5 likes that game, and it doesn't matter what age you are, you like that game. So people will be like, "Well, you can't make it the game of the year. You can't say but it is the best PS5 game."
And they're a legit studio. What is it? Sobi, like, I think that's like their name. Like they're like it's good just because it's free on the system doesn't mean it's not a real game. Like, yes, it's a tech demo, but they did it in such a way that it's like it makes sense. It's great. It's a great platformer. Anyone can play it. You're right.
Can I just give you a fun little Darren Korb tidbit?
Yes, please.
So someone on Twitter asked him about this is like 2018. Someone was like, "So tell me about the Hades soundtrack." Do you want to know what he called this genre of music?
Hit me with
Mediterranean Halloween prog rock. And you know what? It fits. It's so good.
The music's so good.
It's so good.
You're right. I agree with you. Or it's like I'll buy anything they make. I'll buy it at launch. I'll buy it full price. I'll buy collector's editions if I have to. Like I always make sure to buy something at their PAX booth if they're there. But like, I don't know. They can do no wrong. And if call it whatever you want. Call it Poop Nugget Supreme music, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm in. That's my new favorite genre.
Yeah. Nope. They have never steered me wrong yet. So I will play every game they release, even if I don't like it. I'll buy it and I'll finish it.
So I guess we're all agreeing everybody should buy this regardless. Even someone like myself, if I didn't have it on Game Pass, I would have bought it. But Wabba, you mentioned Mass Effect, a remastered being your favorite game.
Yes.
You just played another remastered. Do you want to talk about it?
I did. Going along the fact that I only play games that I've played in the past, and I basically refuse to play new IPs. I just played Diablo 2 Remastered. Now, I know I've talked about this a lot. This is like one of my most anticipated things. I've recently rekindled my love for it because once I found out it was a thing, I went and downloaded the game using my original CD key from my actual disc I still had because I'm a hoarder. And they honored it. 20 years later, God, I'm old.
Did you ever like reach out to their social media people and be like, "Hey, I just did this"?
No,
you should have. I don't know why you didn't want.
I will. So what happened was I bought the game for what, like $20 to play with my friends. Then I found it in that closet, and I found out I could redeem it. So I said, "Hey, can I get a refund? I actually have the disc." And they said, "Absolutely." Then they told me a joke. They said, "What's Mephisto's favorite band?" Durance. Check W. If you don't know this game,
my
you don't
God.
care. It was
Wow.
funny. So
Was
anyway,
was it funny?
yeah. It's the Durance of Hate is where he goes. Duran is.
I get
It's
it.
too cerebral for you, Court. But I played it, so I got access to the beta. So the alpha happened a while ago. I watched Dabrensky play it on Twitch. It looked amazing, and now you actually got to play it. If you pre-ordered it, what's happening? It would have already happened last weekend. Is the open beta where if you watch 2.5 hours on Twitch, you get a free beta key or something else. I don't know how the plebs get in. The game's amazing. I didn't play a lot of it. The one thing I hate is Wabba is considered a swear word, so I couldn't use Wabba in my character name.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Seriously?
I have to put that clip on TikTok, but like I typed it in, and it's like, no, this is like profanity. And then I typed in Bungus, and it took it. So my sorceress's name was Bungus.
You
Go
should
figure.
like say something to them about it.
I'm
What
going
is
to.
this?
I need to
Hold on,
make the
hold on.
TikTok because I need some likes, but Wabba's
So
considered profanity.
hold on. There's a meaning and a definition.
Well,
Interesting.
Wabba's actually, if you like want to get like real down to it, it's an acronym. For
It's-
like a weightlifting competition, it's Wabba International and it's World Amateur Body
Building
um,
association.
Building Association. That's not why I have it. I thought it's a word I made up, but turns out that jacked men are
Wabba
part of it.
A Wabba is a kid with a messed up hairstyle who belongs to an organization
True.
of the Wabba, which is a giant group of friends who are Wabbas. There is no real definition of what a Wabba is because Wabba don't really care what they are.
Are you on like Urban Dictionary right now? Yes, you are.
I mean, he's not wrong, but that was honestly like that's the only bad part about what I played, which is wild. So, I played it on PC, like how God intended, and you can pick between several classes: Barbarian, Amazon, Druid, Sorceress, which is what I play, and Paladin. The game feels exactly how it should, and it looks beautiful. One of the things I love is that if you hit G on your keyboard, it will transition to the old style. So like the super pixelated, like the great, like 20-year-old graphics, and you can switch back and forth. And you can turn that off too. I like having it on because I like seeing. Oh, I know very well because I've been playing it. This is what it looked like. Here's what it is now. There's greater detail. Obviously, it looks beautiful. And it's just weird to start this game with everybody on equal footing. You know, you're starting a game. There's no good loot out there. It's like there's going to be a race to be the first person to get stuff. And that's what I'm really excited for. The game is beautiful. It looks great. It plays great. The bosses look amazing. It's challenging. It's everything I wanted. And I didn't play a lot. I think I got to level 12. Some people like grinded to 30, which sucks for sorcerers because I don't get powerful until level 30 and for how I play. So I'm basically just whacking things with a stick and doing like 5 damage, whatever. But it's exactly how it should be, and I'm so excited to play. And I took time off for release day and the day after because it comes out on a Thursday. I'm just gonna do that, and I didn't want to play too much because it's like one, my progress doesn't carry over. It carries over from last weekend to this weekend, but I'm not gonna be able to play a lot. But they did such a good job. It feels very familiar, but it's very new and fresh at the same time. And I'm ranting, but this is yeah, I can't believe it.
So
It's exactly what I wanted.
does it feel like a new game or does it just feel like a remaster? So, like, for example, when Mass Effect 1, I told you this, it felt bad. It felt like I was playing Mass Effect 1 with shiny new graphics. Mass Effect 2, the story is too good, but it's still, once again, my biggest problem with the Mass Effect remasters was it just felt like an HD remake. It didn't feel like I'm almost, I think I need remasters to be from the ground up. Almost.
I think that's what this was. So they fixed a lot like of quality of life things. Like for example, you used to have to like click on gold to pick it up, but now if you just run over it, it picks up. The stash, yeah. So there's a lot of like improvements. So the gameplay feels new. Well, no, it feels like the same gameplay. It's just polished. Other big complaints were the stash. So when they expanded the stash so you can hold more loot, but if you want to move something to another character, like if you had a sorceress and you want to move it to an Amazon, you had to get a friend to sit in a game, leave the game, and come back. Or you had to drop it in a public game and hope nobody steals it. Now, are 3 tabs that are shared stashes. So you can put stuff in a bow, and when I pick up my Amazon, I tried this because it was great. You just get the bow, and you just keep it there, and each character has their own stash. So it's a great way to transfer things. And also in the past game, there are things called mules, which were characters you have to play for like 2 hours. Just let them sit while you leave your computer on, so you could put extra loot there. That's not an issue. So now I can have like 8 new characters, and that's like I never played that many, but that's very exciting because it's just an improvement to that. Like your mercenaries, like you can see what their actual like powers are. All the different powers look like super improved. I mean, and they're taking a lot of feedback from the community. So people have been playing Diablo 2 still, but they've been doing mods, and they're actually listening to them.
So the remaster mainly updates the original game's graphics and network functions and does not change any of its item systems or game balance. Resurrected overlays upgraded 3D models on top of the original Diablo 2 2D sprites. And it is designed to toggle between the legacy and upgraded visuals with a button press.
It looks so different though. How?
Its cutscenes also remastered. Resurrect supports 4K graphics resolutions and 7.1 Dolby surround sound. It actually also supports Dolby Atmos on Xbox. Just saying. Blizzard added small convenience upgrades while leaving the core gameplay unchanged. The addition of shared stash lets players transfer items between their own characters as compared with the original game, which involve a Tyranny Mule character to facilitate the transfer. Players can toggle automatic gold pickups, display ground items, and other small upgrades. The game now reminds players to spend skill points and reminds the skill point allocation is permanent. The remaster will also allow players to import save files from the original Diablo 2 into local single player and continue to play from that point.
Single player, which is cool, but it's whatever.
I wonder how many of those like new systems are imported, maybe not imported, but brought in from Diablo 3.
Would make sense.
When I played Diablo 3, like gold, like you pick that up automatically, right? So I wonder how much of that came in. Did you play Diablo 3, Wabba?
No, I kind of like, because I used to play this again 20 years ago. So when Diablo 3 came out, I didn't have a PC that could play it. And I know it was on console, but like, it's not a console game for me. So I just didn't even bother. And I'm kind of glad because I heard it was fine, but I don't think it was what I want. I think Diablo 4, I'm more hopeful.
It was sneaky free last week on the Xbox Microsoft Store. It never got announced. Nothing was ever said. I just saw it on Twitter and I went in, I downloaded it, and it was free for 3 days. I don't know why. No one said anything. Xbox never made an announcement. Blizzard never made an announcement for obvious reasons. And and I took it. I now have it in my library. It's there forever.
It's weird because I think about this game as like, this is my game that I'm going to dedicate time to. Meanwhile, by pre-ordering, I get like some like barbarian transmog in Diablo 3. So it's like, is this the mode people are going to be like playing like as like, oh, let me like get a taste of it, or like let me go back to it for an hour? Because I feel like people like me, that's like, no, this is like it. Like, this is a commitment. Like, I'm going to be playing this in NHL until like a lot. Like, that's my thing.
Hi, Wabba.
Are you just going to play it on PC? Because apparently there's like cross progression. No. So will you buy it for PS5 or no?
Absolutely not. I will not do that. As much as I want to play with certain people on that console game.
Question for you. If you had an Xbox, because Xbox can play with PC players because they play nice in the sandbox, and you had a mouse and keyboard, which also can hook up to your Xbox. Like, I can take my mouse and keyboard, my Razors that are hooked up right now to my PC, and hook them into my Xbox.
Yep.
So would you play console that way? I know you won't try an Xbox. You even have 3 months free of Gamepass, and you won't even try it. He went out and bought Hades, people. He loves the developer, but there's games that he can try and he refuses to. But I want to ask him this question because you said you want to play mouse and keyboard. I tested this theory. I can hook my keyboard and my mouse up to my Xbox Series X.
So that makes it a little different because I don't believe in playing this with a controller. I think it's silly. But obviously, if that's how you can play, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, just get a PC, forehead. Like, don't you have PCs? Like, I'm not Diablo Immortal. But it's for me again. very near and dear to my heart. That's just not how I play. Would I guess, I mean, technically I would if that was my option. However, I would not sink the amount of time required to be able to like have fun in it because this
But
game's a grindy game.
It's cross. No, so everything stays cross save, cross progression between PC and Xbox.
So it's cross. So I could. What? Okay, I need to look into this more because I didn't even
So-
consider these.
You could realistically play. Let's say you're in your new.
It's
you're-
just
you're-
not on the PS5 because Sony doesn't play nice in the sandbox.
So
That's
let's
fine.
say you're in you're in a new house. Your Xbox is in the living room. Your computer's in the basement. Right? You can pick up your Xbox, play Diablo 2, get your guy up to level 30, save it, go downstairs. Whatever. Load up the cloud. Guy pops in at level 30, and you're same quest, same loot, same save, and then
Yeah,
you just
it
go.
offers cross progression between PC and consoles, so you can transfer your data and save files.
You have to buy the game twice.
Nope.
Oh,
Oh,
That's
no,
actually pretty cool.
Now hold on. That's only if you're in. So here's the caveat: if you buy the game from Microsoft, you'd be able to play it on your PC through their store, and you could also play it on your Xbox. But if you buy the game from Steam, no, you would have to buy it twice. And if you buy the game from PlayStation, you're by yourself on PlayStation Island.
oh. So I mean, I bought it straight from Blizzard, so I probably wouldn't be able to take advantage of that. However, if you guys had Xbox, Pez is playing this on PC. If you had an Xbox and you buy it from them, you could play with me on PC.
100%.
Yep.
But if I put it on my PS5, I'd be by myself
Don't
on
do it.
PS5
You should not.
Island.
Unless a lot of people don't have an option, but like, don't buy this on Sony.
No.
This is a PC game. Get it on PC somehow.
Well, no, to be honest, I'll probably get it on my Xbox, but I'll buy it through the Microsoft Store so I can play it. I play my Xbox on my PC, so I can play mouse and keyboard if I want. Like Flight Simulator, I could play with a flight stick if I wanted to on my PC, and I can just play Xbox games because I can do what's it called, remote play. So
Yep.
I can be upstairs right now where I'm recording this, and I have my Xbox Series S here that I pretty much play Xbox 360 games on, and any game that's 1440p and below. If I want to play the 4K with all the bells and whistles, I can now, because I'm part of the Xbox Insider program, where anybody can sign up, it's free. I can remote play my Xbox, which is downstairs, Series X, seamlessly. There's no lag, there's no nothing. And I can turn it on from here on my PC through my PC dashboard, which Pez, that's how he does. And I can literally plug in my Xbox Series X controller into my PC and just play my Series X from here, and I never have to leave the room. It's honestly, Wabba, it's unbelievable, and it is the reason that I've come over to Team Xbox this gen, because I'm just like, they just make everything so much easier. I'm going away for vacation next week. I'm going away with the family, and the wife was like, I guess you can't bring your consoles. I'm like, I could bring my backbone. Like,
Woo! That's actually pretty cool.
just bring the backbone. I can remote play my Xbox from my phone.
That's awesome. And I'm actually excited now that you'll be able to play because I want to be able to play this game with people. So
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it on my Xbox. I'll play it with you, but
I'm in. I'm excited because I'm like, one thing I don't get to do with NHL is they don't want you to give cards away. So if I have a good card that I'm not using anymore, I can't just give it away. Like on Twitch or like to someone. With this, it's not a thing. So like I could realistically, once I'm like my source is high and I've got like Magic Find and I'm like, finding good loot and doing boss runs and stuff like that. If I find something good that I don't need, or one of my, the people I'm playing with don't need, I can just like raffle it off or do like a giveaway. And like that type of interaction with a community that I'm not really a part of is very cool to me. I'm very entrenched in Twitch on NHL. I'm hoping to meet more people, and I know there's a crossover in the Venn diagram. People who play NHL and also are going to enjoy Diablo, and I'm just very excited for that. I haven't been a part of that.
hey, I play everything. Like literally, I'll try anything. Just give me the game. I tried Splitgate today for an hour. Not my thing, but it's fun. It's just I don't know what it is about multiplayer games besides Division 2. Not many. Like even Destiny, I love the campaign, and then when it came to the whole grind thing, I'm like, I'm out. I have a hard time playing games that don't allow me to play on my own and go Rambo, as Pez always calls it when I'm playing. If I can't do that, I can't always find people to play with. Like that's how I have a hard time with Fall Guys, all these Sea of Thieves. I enjoy the game, but I'm begging people to play with me, and I gave up. So I've even deleted Sea of Thieves off my hard drive. I'm just like whatever. I'm never playing it, dude. No one wants to play. So
He
I'm
walked
out.
he walked to the plank, Pez.
Ooh, that's a good one. That was a good one.
It's so low effort.
It
So
is
anyway,
what it is.
that's Diablo. We'll be talking about it more because once that thing comes out on September 23rd, I'm all in.
So
Yep.
we're gonna skip the next thing.
Okay.
Because you know what? Honestly, no one cares. Guess what? Everybody, Call of Duty's on Warzone. You can see the new Call of Duty. It's World War II. I don't
Call of
think
Duty?
it. Yeah, PS Store leaked it, but
They've
let's
never come
get-
out with annual games.
let's get to what I know Pez is excited to talk about. I know I'm excited to talk about it because we have an opinion on this, especially because we're parents. I'm gonna ask you guys because I think I've shared my opinion. I think I shared it last week. Are you guys going back to the theater? And have you tried watching a new release movie from home? Or have you already gone to the theater?
Not only will I go, I've already been. So, if you listen to last week's show, you know that my daughter and I have been doing Marvel Mondays. Wabba missed it. Wabba, my 10-year-old, came on to talk about Marvel Mondays, where we go through the MCU in timeline order every Monday. FYI, the last movie we watched was Thor: Dark World. Movie stinks.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's fine.
No, it's not. It's not fine. It's bad. It's probably one of the worst. It's probably I would say not the worst Marvel movie, because I think the worst Marvel movie is Iron Man 3, but I would say it's right there.
Ant-Man. But
see, I like Paul Rudd. Also, I'm wearing my Ant-Man
I
shirt.
thought I was on mute. Did I yell off mute?
No. I like Paul Rudd, but Ant-Man to me is
No, Ant-Man's great. Ant-Man's a character nobody cared about, and they made it
I still don't.
fun.
They could have done Squirrel Girl and I'd be happy. But I think the biggest problem with Dark World is the main antagonist, the villain, he's terrible. Like,
he stunk. Malachi, no one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Yeah, no one cares. He sucks.
And well, that was the problem with like both the first and the second Thor movie. Like the first movie, it was Loki, right? And people are like, oh yeah, Loki's pretty good. But like the big villain was that stupid big robot monster that Loki sent down to Earth. And like, that's stupid, right? No one cares. And then you have Malachi, the dark elf. Like, no one cares. Nothing that happened in Thor: Dark World, other than the post credits, means anything.
The ether is a big deal.
Is it?
That's because it's a Infinity Stone, isn't it?
Is it?
I'll go.
I thought it was.
Keep talking.
I don't know.
So,
I don't know.
Dark World, in my opinion, was there to help progress Infinity War. So while it might not be the best MCU movie, I believe it served a purpose. It
served its purpose because the post credit.
Marvel Studio President Kelvin Feige has confirmed that the Ether is the Reality Stone of the Infinity Stones. In the comics, the Collector owned the Reality Gem before Thanos took it from him in Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah,
and the Ether appears from a stone. There you go, Wabba.
All right.
Oh,
I'm giving it to you, Wabba.
The best movie? No, but at least we know it served a purpose, and that was to perpetuate the Infinity War timeline.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're about to just literally obliterate the whole timeline and be like, guess what? Nothing matters.
Fine.
So anyway, getting back to the movie theater, I told my 10-year-old, I said, look, for your birthday, you and I will go see Black Widow in the movie theater, because I am not of the mind to pay $30 to watch a movie on a service I already paid for. But so what we did was I bought them same day. I spent $17 on 2 tickets. We went to our local AMC theater. We had those big comfy seats, right? Put our feet up for almost the whole coming attractions and whatnot. It was just her and I. And then people started to filter in, and she'd be like, do I have to put on my mask? And they'd be sitting like 3 rows behind us. And I'm like, no, we're fine right now. And then people sat next to us, and we put our masks on, and I had a great time. I miss being in a movie theater, right? I missed it. I missed the sound quality. I missed everything. And I'm really excited. It's not going to be an everyday thing, but I'm really excited to go see movies I want to see it at the big screen. Like Ghostbusters Afterlife, I'm going to go see it in a movie theater. I'm going to go. I don't care if I go by myself. I'm going to go. But we had a good time. She enjoyed it. And I don't know if you get the same experience just sitting on my couch or my like chair, right, in my recliner watching Black Widow. I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much as I did it in a movie theater. I consumer guy, right, but also buys Nintendo games, so kind of a hypocrite, but I don't like paying for a service. Shut up, Court. I don't like paying for a service and then having to then pay for a movie. Like, I don't like paying my $15 or whatever for Disney Plus and then having to pay another $30 for a movie. I'd rather just wait. I'd rather just wait for Jungle Cruise to come out or Black Widow or Reign of the Last Dragon. Like, it's just something I'm not going to do. But yeah, movie theaters, loved it. Had a great time. We'll definitely go back. Won't be like, I'm not going to the opening release of Ghostbusters because I know it's going to be packed. But maybe like 2 weeks later, I'll go, right? When like no one's there, depending on how all this COVID stuff is going on. But I missed it more than I thought I would. So yeah, we'll definitely go back. I enjoyed it. You guys? Wabba?
So we loved going to movies, and then we had a kid, and that just never happened for a year. And the last movie I think I saw in theaters was Captain Marvel, and it's because we went out to see her father-in-law to watch the baby for a few hours while we went and saw the movie. And before that was Infinity War or Endgame. So what happened was I went to the theater and I bought 2 tickets. One for like what is it? It was on a Saturday. One for like 2:00 and one for like 7:00. Obviously I went to the earlier one because I picked the tickets up. My wife can wait. She threw out her ticket, so I had to like negotiate. I bought it well in advance, and they took care of it because I'm like, I bought 2 tickets. Like I was here. You remember me? I talked to you, and I bought one for the afternoon. Like who buys 1 ticket? And then another ticket. But those were the last ones. Movie theater hasn't been a big part of my life since. And it's been a few years. It's not just because of COVID. But like I remember I loved it, obviously. But my daughter's not at the age where she can just sit down and enjoy it. Like she just wants to watch Cocomelon, which is free. But my wife loves the movies. She used to go all the time. Probably way more before I even showed up. I got it on Movie Pass too. I loved that. Oh God. But the one thing we still do is she still sends me out to get a large popcorn. So I'll waltz in there, walk right past the people selling tickets, walk up to the counter, order my large popcorn, give them my rewards. Sometimes I haven't gone to a movie in 2 years. I get a free popcorn because we have so many points. I get it, I pay, and then I walk out the door and I get judged. And I don't care. And then we just enjoy movie popcorn at home.
Good on you, Wabba.
That's what we do what makes the queen happy, baby.
I eat popcorn on the way home. I don't care.
Of course. It's like when you order McDonald's, you're eating some of the fries on the way home.
So Wabba, a little trick to that, because I do the same for my wife, especially when she was pregnant. I bring 2 large Ziploc bags and I pour the popcorn into the Ziploc bag so then you don't spill in the car and it keeps it fresher. So by the time you get home, it's gold, baby.
But how about that? You do that and let's take a step further. Then you walk back in there and get your free refill.
Wow, that's impressive.
I know.
We're big.
We're in the end game now. That is such 5-head. We just saved.
Big brain moves happening right now.
So Wabba, I'm in the same boat as you. My daughter is here in Canada. She can't be vaccinated. She's only 4. And our movie theaters just opened up for the very first time. And I know, Pez, your daughter can't be vaccinated either, but you're going later on. So people are going to the theaters now, and I was talking to Mitch from YYC actually today about it, and he was like, "Yeah, it was great," but he goes, "It felt a little." There was people around, but he still enjoyed the experience. But me having a child, I can't go to the movie theater. I have to get someone to watch my kid, and right now during COVID, it's only family members. No one else can come to my house. So the fact that Disney was doing what they were doing for something like Raya that my daughter it really enjoyed, $35 to me, and it's 35 here in Canada, is the same price as me taking my family to the movies. Actually, it's cheaper, and I can have everything in my house. I can get up to go to the bathroom, so on and so forth. So for me, it was great. And in all honesty, you guys know this. I sold my hockey card collection. I bought 2 consoles, and with the leftover money, I went out and bought an OLED LG CX, sound panels for my basement. I put in Dolby Atmos surround sound in the basement. So, and we have the chair set up. So for me, it's amazing watching a movie in my basement.
You're basically at the movies in your basement.
So for me, I'm gonna spend that money. I've been the new Marvel movie. I'm not gonna go see it, but it already said that it's coming to Disney Plus in 45 days. I don't get the HBO Max here. We don't get it. We get Crave, and we don't get all the movies. So I haven't got to see You're on mute, Wabba. I haven't got to see Suicide Squad or anything like that yet. And my biggest problem is people are like, oh, you can just rip it off the internet, but the internet doesn't give me the Dolby Atmos and all that. So I can't do it. So I've been actually, our Cineplex here, I can rent the movie and watch it. So I've been doing that. Like I want to. Ghostbusters is the one where I think I might go by myself. And I kid you not, I'm going to go to the grocery store after and get one of those self-tests and pay the $60. For me, man, it's all about my kid. And for now, I don't want to do anything indoor that can possibly hurt her because she's so susceptible at her age and she's got asthma. And the fact that my wife and I, we used to go to the movies. We were that couple that went to the movies pretty much like bi-weekly, weekly. And now we can't because we can't go. So that's why we built the theater. So I think this is totally situational. Like if my daughter was older and I could bring her to the movies with me and I could see what she's doing and so on and be just as careful. I know Pez was probably extremely careful while he's there. Then I'm okay with it. But for me, I can't get to the theater unless I'm going by myself.
Well, and also like I've had a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old and they suck at movie theaters. So like mine's 10. Like this is a movie she wanted to see. She's going to sit there. I remember taking her to see Frozen or, Toy Story 4 or insert Disney movie C and squirming in her chair, getting up, trying to walk around. And like an hour later, it's like, you know what? Let's just go. Like you've hit your max. You're not paying attention. No one's having a good time. Let's get out of here. Like 10 years old, looks at me, Daddy, should have put my mask on. Yep. Okay, great. Pulls it down to drink, puts it back up. Like it's easy when they hit a certain age. So I don't envy you guys at a normal time trying to take a kid to the movie theater because I've been there and it's a nightmare.
That's the thing too. It's like COVID wouldn't impact my decision anyway. I mean, we dealt with it beforehand. It's just, now, well, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Having a child and then her being 1 and then a year of COVID things. I feel like I was already doing these things before it started. So I feel like I'm not hit as hard with some of these decisions as a parent or like, some leisure activity decisions because my world already changed. Could only do so much with a, pregnant wife too. It's not like we were going out all the time. Like,
right.
And at home. And I didn't do that anyway because I'm a big nerd.
Until Avengers Endgame was on Netflix, I didn't see it.
Things you have to sacrifice, and that's
I had it muted on Twitter for the longest time.
Wow.
I think it's still muted on my Twitter because I didn't wanna.
Right.
I wanted to watch it, and same with like all these movies. So my wife and I, like, we've been watching movies again now. Friday nights we have family fun night in my house. We watch a movie with Emma, and then my wife and I go downstairs and we watch a movie. We watch it in this theater setup, and a friend of the show, Matt, who I'm doing that Xbox show with, SXP. I told him about my theater setup, and he's now, hope his wife doesn't listen. He is now trying to convince his wife to go get this TV and the whole setup because
let's go.
It's so hard. Like Pez knows. Like I am jonesing to see Suicide Squad, but I can't. And then Ghostbusters, I even said to a friend of mine, and Top Gun. There's the two. Top Gun has to be seen in a theater. And Ghostbusters has to be seen in a theater. I'm like, I gotta figure out a way to make this happen.
Suicide Squad was very good. We just watched it the other day, but I don't think you need to be in the theater for that. Let me put it that way.
Disagree.
I'm a
Turn it off
DC
halfway
guy.
through.
Oh, and hold on. There's one more movie. Hold on. There's a movie coming out in October that I will go by myself to the matinee, and I'll probably see it. I'm gonna go depending on how much I like it. I'll probably see it more than once, and that
What
is The Batman.
Yes, the Batman.
Where is he?
He doesn't talk that way.
He must have friends.
I will say, like, my wife and I were never really, we weren't like moviegoers, but we'd, like It Chapter 1 came out and we were like, hey, let's go on a date. And I bought the wrong tickets. I thought, and when I say the wrong tickets, I bought the wrong type of theater tickets. I thought I was buying regular tickets, and I bought like the 3D sound rumble chair tickets. It was amazing. We had such a great time. And then someone walked in dressed as Pennywise. I thought my wife was gonna pee her pants. But like, we'd go to the movies. Like we saw, I think she was 7-8 months pregnant, and we went and saw Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows, Chapter 2, or whatever, Part 2. Like we would go every now and then. We took the kids. It was nightmare when they were little, but now it's like a thing that my youngest and I will do because she's becoming a cinephile like her mother, and right now comic book movies are where it's at with her.
The Batman
Also, yeah,
look.
I didn't like Suicide Squad.
Has correct for right now for us because they're technically bringing all our 80. Like think about it. The next Flash movie, we get Michael Keaton Batman.
I know.
Like
It's gonna be
we
amazing.
get that, and then we get Ghostbusters, and we get the Batman. Like right now, it's like if they just imagine they just come out with like Goonies, and they just all of a sudden give me Goonies again, and
And the rumor of the Spider-Man movie being a multiverse Spider-Man movie is just.
Did you guys see that trailer that some guy made? It was so good.
The
It
fan
was
made?
obviously
It was good.
it was fantastic.
Really,
That's
exciting.
like exactly what I want. Like I mean, if you read comics, that stuff's very exciting to you.
Yeah.
Like the events, like I'm still waiting for like Secret Invasion, which
Speaking of comics, I just went to comic book day on Saturday. I grabbed Batman #1, 1989. It is, I'm going to tell you this right now for anybody who likes Batman. Pez, I know you like the original Batman. This comic, go out and get it. The story, they go in, so it starts, they haven't made Two-Face yet, but that's what they're leading into. And they use the characters from the movie. So if you can get the digital, it's
awesome.
so good. It
Picks
has
up
the
after
feel.
Returns.
It's like it's like a Tim Burton comic. Like I don't know, man. The art direction on it is phenomenal. It's just so good. And then I also got I Am Batman, where Batman is black.
Cool.
And the story is so gripping. I haven't been able to go to a comic book store in almost 2 years. So
wow.
I went in there, and the guy was like, he rings it up, and he's like, it's 200. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'm like, I bought a ton of comics. I was just like, I gotta catch up on everything I missed.
Ours survived no problem. Like they got like super support. I'd been there a few times throughout. But for Free Comic Book Day, they always go, all out. They couldn't this year for reasons you would have like cosplayers and local artists and stuff like that. But we brought my daughter, who's getting into Spider-Man, because on Disney Junior they have a new series called Spidey and His Friends, where you have Spidey, Miles Morales called Spin, and Ghost Spider, which is Gwen. And it's so good. Oh, there she is. So we got
that for my daughter on Comic Book Day.
We got a few things, and they're having like a huge deal. I got like 2 books and like 3 free comics for like, it was like what, $13 for 2 like books, but one was like a Disney Tsum Tsum Avengers. Nice. These like little beans of like Avenger things, which she loves. I mean, we're just reading it to her and looking at the pictures, and then we got a Spidey and like the Friends, so she just loves it. And Spider-Man had 2 free comics, so we gave them to her, and she read them. And then it was great.
X-Men's Legends #1, great series. It's pretty much the X-Men's cartoons, the animated series from way back in the day, from the 90s.
Awesome.
In a comic book. It's Pez.
Right up my alley, man.
Yeah, it was so good. And that Spider-Gwen is a phenomenal. It's Amazing Spider-Man 71, I think.
It's funny. I like when it comes to covers, I don't read the issues. I get them for the covers. I'll buy anything J. Scott Campbell makes, and I'll just like frame them and hold them.
That's what I did. I
mean-
I read it. I'm
You,
not a
you can't read it. You can't cause a crease.
Wabba.
No, you buy 2 copies.
So to let everybody know, I found an old copy of X-Force series, episode 1, issue 1, sorry, and it's still in the original plastic with the card inside. And Wabba almost had a fit when he was trying to explain to me that if I open it, he's going to hurt me.
Yeah, it
And
ruins the value.
I'm not going to lie to you. I debated opening so I could read it again because I don't
Just-
care. I don't do it
just-
for the value. Look, that's Batman New 52 right there, number 1. That's Batman the Detective Comics New 52 number 1. That's like $400 worth of comics right there.
When I bought my number 1, so I went to my normal comic store at the time when I was in school, and they were out. So then I went to a Newberry Comics that was close by. They had so many. Like, they had like rows, and I picked one up that I thought was in good condition. I obviously reviewed a bunch of them. And looking back at that, if I had bought all of them, you wouldn't see my ass again. I'd be on some island.
Sheesh.
You could have straight up just bought all of them, paid like what, $300.
I just kind of
I wouldn't have that red couch in the background. I'll tell you that much. Bungus ass 30-year-old couch,
Man,
but so
I miss
goes,
my
man.
comics. They're all boxed up in storage right now.
Yeah, I don't have mine. The free comics were the only ones I got. I just picked up a Street Fighter Sakura Karen or Karen.
Oh, Pez, that Ecto
Okay.
one that you see up there, that's the new one, and it
Yeah.
has the sidecar that pops out on the side.
Ooh, nice.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's so
I can't
nice.
wait. I can't wait for that movie. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
That's so good.
We'll have to do a special one-off when that movie comes out because I want to hear you guys talk
Hey,
about it.
Speaking of, I just bought Transformers, the 35th anniversary.
Gonna
35th
have to have a
anniversary.
court review.
It's so okay. So it is 4K, Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision. It is unbelievable, and I know it's kind of funny because growing up, when you see this movie Transformers, when Optimus dies, I was in the theater. I cried. It's spoiler alert. It's a 35-year-old movie. Like seriously,
There are
Optimus Prime
people here
dies.
that are younger than that movie.
Yeah. So it he comes back in literally the very first cartoon that comes after because in Japan where they made the cartoon, they just tried to sell the toys. They didn't care. Hasbro's like, whatever, let's kill it off. Don't matter. And this is before the internet, but people rioted it. It did not go over well for Hasbro. They even had to redo G.I. Joe the movie because they were killing off Duke with a snake through his heart from Serpentor. And instead, he somehow gets he gets a snake through his heart and lives. Anyways, that's G.I. Joe the movie. But Transformers, they kill off everybody. But it looks so good in 4K. Like I actually have the original DVD, so I put the DVD in to watch it after. And like the Unicron, when he starts at the beginning and he does you can hear it in my basement. I'm like, oh my God. And then when he's talking to when he talks to Megatron and turns him into Galvatron, he's like, Galvatron. And then you get to see Starscream gets crushed. I'm just like, oh my God. And then even the Weird Al Yankovic Dare to Be Stupid. And then you got the touch. Like the soundtrack for Transformers it's unbelievable. It's phenomenal. It's so good. That I'll tell anybody who's never seen it and they want to watch what it was like to be in the 80s and grow up and watch cartoons, watch that. And if you don't get jacked when Optimus Prime says one shall stand, one shall fall, you have a problem.
True. Damn true.
I got Hot Rod right there. I don't consider him Rodimus because you know what? He was Rodimus for like a day. Because Optimus comes back and Hot Rod was way better and way cooler.
Jeez.
And that song, Pez, when Hot Rod's got Kit and he's going down, it's so good.
So good. Oh, gonna have to
So
look at it
good.
now.
And then Cup's like, oh, why are you shooting at the... Oh, it's just so much. It like brought back the feels and I actually felt good. Like it just felt good. I don't know.
I feel like you're like how I am with games, but with movies. You just want remakes and to play. I want to play the same games and you just want to watch like remasters or remakes of the same movies, and I respect it.
But even video games, like I am so hyped for the next Rocksteady game with Robin and Backer. Like I'm so hyped for that. I'm so hyped for and Pez, I hope this happens. We get a Ghostbusters game. Like give me one. Just give me a good one.
I actually went back and played Ghostbusters, the video game remastered on my Switch. Still a wonderful game. If you're able to play it. It's pretty good.
I
Yes,
have it on
Gotham
my
Knights. Let's go.
yeah. It looks. I have it on my PS5, and I gotta play it because I bought it when it was like $10 or whatever.
Yeah, super cheap.
I just like. This sounds funny, but I just like nerd culture, like the stuff that in the '80s. When you think about it, we got lucky enough for everything that everybody likes right now, besides Pokemon. It all started then. The X-Men, the animated series, or um, even when you think about it, the whole Infinity Gauntlet, that's from the 80s and the 90s. That whole storyline that everybody's watching in Marvel right now, that's the comics Pez and I grew up reading.
Yep.
So when all this happened, it was funny. When all these people watch Harry Potter and they're like, well, the books are better, which they are. I've read the books. The books are way better than the movies.
100%.
The comic book series of the Infinity Gauntlet is a million times better than the movies.
Well, yeah, because you can use everyone, not just who you had the rights for at that time or who you had a movie about. I mean, I could get it. I think I did, but yeah, the Infinity
I don't think we have
Gauntlet
time.
book
I don't
is
think we
very
have
superior.
time.
No, we don't. I can't do it. I can't do it to you guys.
Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man and Michael Keaton is Batman. It is what it is.
Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man.
Yep.
And with that hot take, we're gonna wrap up this episode of Three Dads and a Console. Again, thank you, Court. Thank you, Pez and Wabba Plays. We hope you enjoyed. If you could rate us on iTunes and Spotify, please make sure to do that. And also, again, just a reminder, check out our YouTube channel. Drop us a subscription. We're trying to get that vanity link, getting closer and closer to 100 every day. And yeah, thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next episode.
See you next time.